Is the transfer portal ruining college football, man? If you ask me, sort of. Almost on the yes side, just because I grew up watching college football where players had to essentially earn their spot. They essentially had to wait their turn until, the senior graduated. It's my junior year. I'm finally getting the chance to play. I think back to Alabama 2019, that wide receiver room with Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy. You got Jalen Waddle. You also got Henry Ruggs in that room, man. I think we are absolutely gone from seeing just elite position groups like that, man, where guys gotta wait their turn. Because if I'm Devontae Smith my freshman year and I'm barely playing and I know I'm a Heisman candidate going forward, if I know I have that in me, why would I wait? I'm just going to transfer to another school, whether it's, a smaller program or maybe it's another SEC school that has, a worse wide receiver room. I'm just going to transfer out and put myself in a better position to succeed. And there's nothing wrong with that. It makes sense. But for me, I grew up watching, just college football just being a little bit different. So for me, it has changed and I appreciate it, man. I've grown to love the new college football, especially when you think about it like this, man. You got the season, then you got the off season. The off season usually be a little bit stale. Well, now it's the ups and downs, man. You got players on your favorite team jump in the portal. You may get a big player. The whole thing is now year round, man. There's no off season to this whole college football thing. So I've grown to appreciate at least that portion of the transfer portal. I had a conversation with my brother. He's a former college football player, and we're talking about the transfer portal. I'm telling him how I think it needs to be changed, think it needs to be regulated a little bit by the NCAA or whoever. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. As a former college football player, I love this. The chance to jump in the portal, go to a different school, no penalty. You could chase an NIL bag. I'm like, well, for the player, it does sound amazing. But at some point, when does it start to harm the player? If you go into 4 different schools in 4 years, at some point, is that hurting the player? Is that hurting maybe they draft stock or maybe treating them bad real life skills, about, maybe loyalty or whatever, chasing something more than just the NIL bag or, working hard for a starting spot. And when you think about it like this, for some of these players that's, going to college out of high school, it's really their first time ever not starting, especially if you're a freshman, man. A lot of these guys that go on to play college football, especially at the, the FBS level, they have maybe even been freak athletes their entire life. They worked very hard and they've been starting. Some of these guys have been starting since freshman year. A lot of these guys probably since sophomore year have been starting on varsity. They never experienced, being a backup. So you get to college and you someone backup now. You're not really getting no first team reps. And, you don't understand that you have to actually work to get this spot. And not saying it's a bad thing, not saying it's anyone's fault. But if I'm that athlete, well, I'm just going to go ahead and leave, and I'm going to go to a different program that actually might start me, that actually might give me the skill set. And then while you keep doing that, you go to your second program, you realize, whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought I was going to actually get some playing time. Still not getting the playing time I want. Maybe I'm not getting the NIL money. You got Matt from UNLV who thought he was getting $100,000, starting quarterback, thought he's getting $100,000, realized that they scammed him, played 4 games, 3 to 4 games, set out. He said, I'm not playing no more. He's entering the transfer portal in the middle of the year, man. So not only the transfer portal, combine that with NIL, it just creates for a nasty, nasty combo, man. Every single year, you essentially have to offer one of your star players a new contract, man. If I am a player at a small school and I have a breakout season, what's keeping me here, man? What's keeping me at this small school? 1, a bigger school has more opportunities. 2, a bigger school probably got more NIL money. And 3, I go to a bigger school, I might get more looks, and then also I might compete for a national championship. So it leads to the smaller schools just, essentially being a foster home for these, good recruits, good players, and then, they actually go to their real home once they, do good. And, all of that in the big picture sounds good, but players, schools are still losing out, man. Over 6,000 players has entered the transfer portal just this cycle, man. The transfer portal opened last Monday, and over 6,000 players are in that thing already, man. And I think about how many players are never going to find a home, man. You got thousands of Division 2, Division 3 players, man. And you got Division 1 players, FBS, FCS players. A lot of these players are not going to find a home. they just, going to be in the portal and they're going to end up not finishing their education. Some of them are not going to play football ever again because they thought they had an opportunity in the portal. Part of it is agents giving out false information. And the other part of it is, some people just don't want to work for the spot, man. They want to take the easy way out, try to jump in the portal. And that's not everyone. I'm not saying that's everyone, but it is some students, and it's leading to, some nasty work happening. So how do you fix the portal? And I don't know if it's a way, a solid answer, because they might have already done it if it was a solid answer, a good way to fix the portal. But I think we need to reduce it to one portal window, man. We have currently 2 windows, one after the season, then one in the spring. I think take away the spring portal windows, man. Less players jump in during that period anyway. And then also you have players enter after this season, and then they go to the school and realize, whoa, I don't want to commit this, and they jump in the portal for a second time. Also, I think we should change how many transfers we allow, man. Obviously, you may make the wrong mistake. You 18, 17 years old when you decide on what college you go to, you get there, you realize you don't like it. Cool, you get 1 free transfer. Now, I'm suggesting after that, you don't get a second free. If you want to transfer again, then you have to sit out a year. Similar to the rule that it was before this whole thing started. You have to sit out a year if you want to transfer your second time, unless your head coach get fired. If your head coach get fired, you get an automatic transfer. And then also, if you in grad school, if you get, red shirt and you're in grad school, you get a free grad transfer as well. But other than that, you only get 1 transfer. And I think, this will help the students a little bit. Just, when it comes to actually not entering the transfer portal and not finding a home, it will reduce a little bit of that, and it will also help the universities, man. A lot of these programs are offering these NIL bags for these players that never even playing, that never even suit up for the team. You give this guy a bag, he may come to your program and he may transfer out in the spring window, not even play a single snap, and he might get 100,000, he might get 50,000. You paid that player absolutely for nothing. So it kind of protects both sides, the player and then also the university. And I don't hate the transfer portal. I actually very much enjoy it. Like I said, it's gives you something to do during the off season, something to pay attention to, and it's super entertaining. But when you have some guys entering 4 years in a row and you kind of waiting for this guy to come in because he entered the last 3 years, at some point it's like, it's not the school fault. It can't just be every single school fault. At some point, you got to take some responsibility, man. Maybe go to a smaller program, whatever the situation is. Also, another thing, I don't know if you should enter the transfer portal with no game film. We got players coming in the portal, a junior, sophomore, with 0 game film. It's like if you send in coaches just practice highlights or still high school highlights and you're a junior, it's like maybe you should stay with that program, continue to work, and your senior year, you'll get an opportunity. Maybe you won't, what I know. I look at it like this, man. The portal gives and the portal takes, man. I'm pretty sure whatever your favorite team is, y'all probably got some players that went into that portal that's a complete head scratcher, man. Whether he had no playing time, whether he, had bad grades, whether he was a starter and he was a great player, perfect fit. He entered the transfer portal, no idea why. Maybe he's chasing an NIL bag. Maybe he wanted a better scheme fit. Maybe he just wanted to get closer to home. Whatever the situation is, man, the transfer portal has got a little bit out of control. I think we need to figure out how to do something about it, man, especially combining with NIL. It just became like a nasty little combo that continued to snowball. And every single year, we having more and more players entering the transfer portal, man. This year, I will say, we don't have the huge names like we did last year and the year before. We don't have the super big names. But listen, we only a week in. Yeah, man. Wait until some of these playoff teams, get done with their season and those guys actually hop in the portal. And that's another thing. You got the playoff teams, 12 teams. You got players entering the transfer portal, backup quarterbacks for college football playoff teams, man. That is nasty work. You got starters on playoff teams entering the portal. Like, why? What are we doing, man? You're literally contributing to your playoff run, to winning a national championship, everything you should be signing up to play football for, and you leaving your brothers in the middle of the season. Like, it is crazy what we got going on in this college football thing, man. And you got some people straight eating in the transfer portal, man. Deion Sanders eating, feasting in the transfer portal, man. Also, you got Oregon from last year bringing in two top quarterbacks, man. Call it what you want. Dylan Gabriel and then also more bringing in two top quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Also, guys like Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss bringing in a lot of guys in the transfer portal, bringing in top classes. They're losing players as well, but they're bringing in more than what they're losing, man. And they also giving out that money. So the transfer portal really does have this pros and its cons, man. I just think we need to put a little bit of restrictions on it, man. Throw some rules on that thing so we could just keep it a little bit safer for both the player and the university, because right now it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. You got players hopping in the portal. You got them coming back to the university and then hopping back in. They take their name out the portal. And matter of fact, let me rethink. I'm going to put my name back. Like, come on, man. What we doing here, man? Doing a lot. Man, that's all I got for y'all today. A little bit different of a video for y'all today, man. Like I said, I want to just talk about college football a little bit. Do more than just the gaming thing. If y'all want to check out my channel, we got a lot of different things going on. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all for watching. We on to the next one.